Hey, what's going on YouTube? Nick Blazer here, coming at you with my first Cavs notes. Now this is something I want to do weekly. Basically, I'm just going to go through all the latest Cavs news, give you my opinion on some things. I think it should be pretty fun. Maybe you guys will learn a thing or two. So I'm really looking forward to getting this started here. So first we're going to start with the Cavs naming their new general manager and replacing David Griffin as Kobe Altman. I don't know too much about him personally. I just know he's been in the front office for some years now. This was announced at a recent press conference, which, if you guys know, if you saw it, they were bombarded with questions about Kyrie, which I'm sure they expected when they made the press conference. They were pretty secretive about like what they want to do with him. They're not going to give like a timeline or anything. They're trying to calm down the situation, saying like the situation can be fixed. I was very impressed with how Kobe Altman was presenting himself during this. He sounded very calm, like he was happy to take the job, which I'm sure he is. It's a dream come true, I bet. But so so they basically said Kyrie did request a trade. That's pretty much confirmed. So that's so disappointing to me. He's been my favorite player in the Cavs ever since he was drafted. Really the reason I got into basketball in general. So seeing him request a trade was something like I never expected to happen, and I'm sure pretty much the whole city of Cleveland thought the same way. So like I said, I'm very disappointed. I wish Kyrie would have just not done it the way he did, I guess, or maybe it's just not even how he did it, but how it got leaked to the media, and now it's becoming this huge big deal, like him versus LeBron. The media's playing into this, and it's kind of a storyline that I think they're building just to get money or just to get like clickbait. So I think a lot of it is media driven. It's really not as big of a deal as they make it seem, which is the case with basically a lot of things in the world lately. So what I want to talk about next is where do we go from here? So this is really tough. I like our recent signings of Jeff Green, Derrick Rose, is it Cedi Osman? I believe that's how you pronounce it. Guard from France, decent all-around player, can shoot the three. I'm really interested to see what he brings to the team because I really don't know that much about him. But he's just another younger player to bring off the bench. So I think Eddie Walter Tavares, I expect him to make some strides this year. Kay Felder maybe grab some minutes at some point. But I think that should be our main focus for the rest of this offseason, is getting younger. As much as I like Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye as people, and they're decent players, they really are. They're just older, and there's nothing obviously they can do to help that. But I think the team just needs to go younger in general. Keep the pace up, which is how Ty Lue always wants to play. Now, I like Derek Williams. I do believe if no one else picks him up that the Cavs should sign him back for the minimum. I'm sure he'd be willing to do that over not playing on a team. So, let's see here. So some rumored trades that I've gotten direct messages from on Twitter and Instagram. So the first one here, or I'm going to go from least likely to most likely. So the Kyrie has basically made it known that he wants to go to the Knicks. Like, that's his main destination, which I don't know why. That's like one of the most like the spotlight's on you there, and things aren't going well, so there's going to be so much pressure on him to perform, which I'm not going to say there wasn't any in Cleveland, but New York's just a whole different ballgame. That's huge market. So I say Melo, and I don't like the idea of the Cavs doing a Melo for Kyrie straight up. I really don't feel like the value matches much. I'm not sure how much Melo has on his contract or how many years he has left. I know Kyrie has 2. And I mean, Melo, he's his body's breaking down a little bit. Kyrie's had his problems, but I think Melo is older, obviously, and I just don't like that trade straight up. I'd say Porzingis would definitely get it done, but the Knicks have said they're not willing to do that trade. Number 2, Josh Jackson and Eric Bledsoe. Now, this is probably one of my favorite fits for the Cavs. Eric Bledsoe would step in and be the starting point guard. Josh Jackson, now I'm not sure where he would be on the either whether he'd be on the lineup or in the bench backing up LeBron. But I do like the fit. He's been one of my favorite players since college. I think if the Suns were willing to do that, if they change their minds, they've said also Josh Jackson isn't going to be included in trade talks. So now on to the first one. Now, in my opinion, the number one most likely trade out of the ones that I've gotten through DM was from the Timberwolves, Andrew Wiggins, and a 2020 first-round pick, top 10 protected. I feel like Andrew Wiggins would be very interesting because he was involved in the trade that sent Kevin Love to Cleveland in the first place. I think it would be a pretty interesting fit, but I think they can make it work. He's a young talent who has all the upside in the world and could become, if he's not already, a superstar in this league. So that's why, in my opinion, that's the best trade that the Cavs could make. Make sure you let me know in the comments if you think there are any better ones. Maybe I'll do a review over them. But Andrew Wiggins, young talent, like I said, athletic, would fit into the starting shooting guard, or maybe even the 3. Push LeBron to the 4, and then I guess Kevin Love would be a 5. I'm not sure how that would work out well, but I got some stats to know here. Kyrie was the first player ever to average 25 points per game and 5 assists per game and not lead the team in either category. This was during the finals. Now that just shows Kyrie is a superstar in the league. In my opinion, he has top 2 or 3 handles in ever, which, I mean, you've watched some of the highlight reels on YouTube if you've seen it. It's just crazy what he can do. Now, what I thought, this one's particularly interesting here. The Cavs were minus 120 points when Kyrie was on the court without LeBron in 635 minutes throughout the season. Now, Kyrie has made it very clear he wants to go run a team by himself and be the face. I understand the team is not really built around him. It's built around LeBron. But those numbers do not look good, and I think that makes him a little less appealing to other teams that want to trade for him. Now Kyrie Irving in his career, in case you were wondering, 21.6 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 5.6 assists. Great numbers. I think if he was healthier, those stats could be much better, and I think he is a better player than those stats show. Defensively, he's a concern. There's no doubt about that. He's not the greatest defensive player in the league. I think he does show the potential to be. The effort, I don't even know if you want to call it the effort. It's just not there all the time. And I think that's really something he needs to work on is his defensive consistency, because that's what you look for out of a team leader. So if the Knicks brought him on, I'm assuming they'd still have Porzingis, probably not Melo, because he's like hell-bent on going to Houston. but he needs to be able to set that defensive tone for his team, and at least in Cleveland, he definitely hasn't shown that defensive consistency every game. Like I said, we see flashes, but it's just not there. So I think with the Knicks situation, it's a very interesting fit. But I think he's going to end up being a Timberwolf. They want him. He said he would love to play alongside Cat and all the young guys they got there. So we'll see if the Cavs end up making a move. They really don't have to. But, I mean, that's where I think he's going to end up. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe.